want a wedding that will be the talk of town, every popular wedding vendor must be on board. The category is luxury. After all, wedding is just once in a lifetime and I must leave a lasting memory. Well, I, on the other hand, I want an intimate ceremony, maximum 100 guests. They say that marriage is not all about the ceremony. The real deal is after the marriage ceremony. A lot goes into organizing a dream wedding, but how extravagant should it be? And must a lavish wedding always be expensive? On this episode of Moans and Cuddles, my guest and I walk you through on how to plan a dream wedding without breaking the bank. My name is Paulina Deda Opoku. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Moans and Cuddles on Ghana Web TV. I am Paulina Deda Opoku. It's always a pleasure to have you here. So today's conversation of Moans and Cuddles, we are taking it a bit higher. We're taking a look at the whole issue, the troubles that come with organizing a big wedding when you know that, it's just beyond your budget. We've heard a lot of stories where couples say that, Charlie, this is not what I planned for, and then after that they are complaining. Some has even led to a divorce, yes, if you care to know. So today we're just going to look at if you want to plan a wedding, should you work according to your budget, should you borrow, and all the other things that comes with it. So I've been joined by one of Ghana's renowned wedding MC, Mr. Pratt.
Hi.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, so Mr. Pratt is a 2020 event MC.
Yes.
Best event MC. Yes. Ladies, you should check him out. He will do a good job for your wedding. Trust Mr. Pratt to deliver. And I also have with me here Bridget. Hey, sorry, I was going to say Bridget Jemfi, but my bad. Mrs. Bridget Ama Ayimedu. She's a newly wedded woman, and I can see she's showing her ring. Bridget, are you taught how to pose? It's like, you're talking to me about the ring.
It comes naturally.
It comes naturally.
Yeah, especially days after getting my fresh, it has to be like
it's
this.
Not easy, Mr. Pratt. So, Bridget, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us on Moans and Cuddles. So, remember that Moans and Cuddles is proudly sponsored by Cheesy Pizza. Now, Cheesy Pizza has got all you want from juices, smoothies, jollof, fried rice, pack, and meatballs. We have great deals for you all week round. Cheesy Pizza gives you Mac Cheesa combo every Monday and Thursday. With only 49 cedis, you get one small pizza, fries, and chicken, one Coca-Cola drink at all branches. Tuesdays are Super Tuesday at all Cheesy Pizza branches. Buy your Super Family Pizza at half price every Tuesday for 40 cedis at all Cheesy Pizza branches. Be part of the midweek bonanza every Wednesday. Buy and get one free at all Cheesy Pizza branches. And also remember to start your weekend with special jollof and fried rice from Cheesy Pizza branches every Friday. Call on 026-413-3397 to place your order. Cheesy Pizza, your way. So once again, you're welcome to Moans and Cuddles.
Thank you.
Yeah, so let's just get into the conversation. Mr. Pratt, so you've done over 500 weddings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. One would say that when it's a woman, a man proposes to you and says, I want to marry you, and then the real ceremony, who contributes? It's just 100-0 percentage. I mean, a man and a woman, should it be a 50-50 or a 60-40 where the 60 goes for the man and the 40 goes for the woman? How do you plan a wedding?
So my first comment on that would be that, you see, when it comes to planning weddings, with respect to the financial obligation, there's no clear-cut formula.
Okay.
So, because elsewhere, I know in the States, in the past, the father of the bride, traditionally, is supposed to take care of the expenses. Then things have evolved, modernity, things have changed. So now what happens that you would have the couple themselves take a majority of it. And sometimes the family come in to take some parts of the expenses. In Africa, it may be a different situation. In Ghana, will be different from what happens in South Africa. So let's make it a bit contextual in our setting here in Ghana here. What happens? Traditionally, when it comes to the traditional wedding, you know that ideally, the family of the bride, they are being asked to take care of the cost, hoping that when it comes to the wedding itself, most likely the groom will take majority or absorb majority of the cost. Things are changing. People come together and say, okay, let's do a 50-50. Some people will say, okay, when I look at your inflows and my inflow, you earn more, so you are more disposed. when it comes to income, so you can spend more compared to me. So what would then happen is that, okay, maybe you do 70, I'll do 30. So I'll clearly say there's no really clear-cut formula to say that take 50, I'll take 50. It depends on the people involved.
Mrs. Ayimedu.
Yeah, I agree with him. I was also going to say that there's no, even when there is, I think that it is flexible enough and it depends on the couple. Because I know a couple where the bride didn't spend a dime because the man gains more than she does. And she was just sitting somewhere and he came that, I would marry you. And he was ready to cater for everything. And I also know couples where the woman spends more than the man. So I think it's between the two of you. You sit down and you look at your strengths, who can give what, and then it works for you.
So let's say my husband to be, I'm not married. Let me speak it into existence.
You know?
He pops up the question, I know he works and I also have a steady job. Some women will say, oh, Sebema dear, he's the man, so I know he can cater for everything. As a woman, Bridget, what would you advise that we do? Even though you know that your husband has all the money, should you contribute?
You would not say you're contributing. I would like to call it support or help. You're helping the man, yes. That is if you have, because you know there are some men who want housewives. I don't want you to work, I want you to be a housewife and all of that. So if I'm not working, where do you expect me to get the funds to help you? And like I was saying, if you're an enoba like myself, your parents don't have anything to also support the events. So definitely everything falls on the guy. But if you're working, at least you earn something. You can also support. If you know, I sell shoes, so in the bridal list there's shoes. My husband's supposed to bring shoes. I don't expect him to go to Accra to go and look for shoes to buy.
Got him.
So even if there are some that I'm supposed to sell, I'll take it and put it inside. It's just wrapping it. It will come back to me and I will go and sell it back to my
Some women who want like everything 50-50. But then we're talking about you supporting and everything. So should it be that the person who is contributing more will have a say? Okay, maybe I want this. No, we'll take this out because I'm contributing more. Or you work according to what your woman says.
You see, the reality on the ground is that there are some group of men. Okay, so I have the money. This is what I have. And this is what I want to spend. I have 100K. I have 150K. I'm trusting that you manage it properly. Go and do whatever you want. And if you've observed, most of the men are not really keen or interested with the whole planning process. It's too much for them to handle.
Okay.
So meeting up your planner, deciding on the wedding colors, is it blush, or we know the red,
the
yellow,
colors
and then there are magenta, there's blush, there's all these colors,
brown,
brown, and all these very strange colors. It's too much for the man to bear with. So okay, so let me leave everything to you for you to handle. I can confidently say that out of 10 men, you might likely get 2 or 3 of them who will be keen or interested in every detail of the planning process. Unless, of course, there is some huge monies involved, and then they will come and query, why are we spending this? Why can't we put it here? Or why do we do it here? Now, that's the case when the man is funding the whole planning. How about if they have external funding somewhere? Sometimes, like we say, there are families in Ghana whom their fathers would completely take care of the whole wedding cost. I'm taking care of it. All you have to do, bring me the bill, let me know what it is you have to do.
Just present yourself.
And actually, trust me, they don't even bother having a say. They would only tell you that, let's do luxury, let's do this hotel, I want this type of food, I want that, just find the people, bring me the bill, and we'll sort it out.
Right.
There are families like that, undoubtedly. Now, there are also some people who would have to take it up on themselves and say, okay, I'm going to put money in this, I'm going to marry this lady, but I have this amount of money. So, obviously, when you're putting in some amount of money, you'll be interested in where the money goes, and especially the one that would consume majority of the money. So, if I have a budget of 40,000 and you come and say something is 15,000, I'll be interested in what is that 15,000 about? What is it going to do? What can I get? Because I'm marking time, I'm checking my account and I'm realizing that no, if I spend 15,000, which is like over 20-30% of my budget, then Charlie, so that is when they come in. But most men really would we'll let it go and allow the woman to take the decisions.
Do you think that men do that because they feel like, okay, if you flop, it's flops, like I've given you the money? Because I've seen a bride to be where she was complaining that it's like my husband doesn't care about anything. I tell him just say, collect the money and go. At least you want the man to...
You know, sorry to cut you, some people also feel that wedding or banana.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me just do it for you. Yeah. So I want to honor you. I want to do something for you. So that's why it happens that way.
Yeah.
Do you think that we like they take the money and do?
No, we don't like it. We don't like it. I'll start from your first question where he answered about who has rights over the events because he or she brought a higher amount of money. I think that from the onset, we need to understand what we are getting ourselves into. Marriage is not who has money and who doesn't. You understand? You're embarking on a journey that you're supposed to. The Bible says that the two will become one. So you're embarking on a journey that you're going to become one. So how dare you tell me that I spent more, so I should decide this or that? I think it should be a mutual something. We sit down. Okay, I want to do this. No, I can't do that for you. I'll do this for you. And you should understand. So you should understand the whole marriage thing so that then it doesn't become like one person has. Because like you said earlier, eventually the person will be rubbing it in your face. When there's a little misunderstanding, you'll be like, oh, forget yourself. After all, I spent a lot during the wedding and all of that. And he has a point because most of the time, especially for our mothers, we the women, so men usually don't have time.
So what we are saying is that they should be more involved in the wedding planning.
You can't force him. You see, there are some men, they're not like, especially when he's an introvert. He doesn't,
even when he's an extrovert, I think that it involves a lot of detailing. A lot. So even when you look at your guest list, see, I can't have the time to decide 400 guest list who is going to come, because don't forget that there are certain criteria people use in selecting their guests, and so they will take their time one after the other. Oh, I join mansa. Ne mami. Oh, na no crime. Mi swan call top diapers, mami.
Yeah.
We are too burdened with other issues.
Okay.
I'm not saying that women are not burdened, but
of course you are just speaking on behalf of men.
The tendency to hold up a lot of things and deal with complex issues.
Because it's our wedding.
Yeah.
Not because it's your wedding. But because I think it's a natural thing.
Okay.
We are one-sided. Once we are focused on one thing, so I think it's a natural thing. You just have a few men who say, okay, I'm also going to be involved throughout the planning process. There are some men who would even follow their wives to go and get the outfits, the shoes, select which type of hair they should put on. There are some men who will do that. Other men, they're like, just surprise me.
All right, sure. In instances where we've heard that some men are saying, okay, the lady says she wants this. All her life, she's been dreaming of this wedding. She wants to sit in a chariot. She wants to... a whole lot. So for a man, before you pop up the question, should you know your woman's dream wedding? So if you know that you cannot handle it, no, I could pay your baby atna.
It's a very complex thing. And I think that conversations is usually always encouraged to happen between couples all the time. And so definitely for a young lady, you've been working with a young man for some time, you get the signs even before you officially propose that, oh, probably this guy wants to form. He might start talking about the kind of children you want to have, the kind of home you want to have. When conversations are tailored, then you are getting an idea, so, oh, you are interested in me, you understand? So I think that it is necessary for us to talk about the kind of wedding that a woman would want to have. I would say the reason why it's become very necessary is that weddings, whether you like it or not, you would spend. As to whether you spend this way, or you spend that way, or you spend that way, there would definitely be an aspect of your money or of your savings that will go into it. And so if my money, 20% or 100% of all my savings, or 120% where the 20% is borrowing or whatever it is, which I don't encourage, if that aspect of my life, I have worked for 5 years and probably about all my life savings, I'm going to probably half of it going to invest it into something I'm not going to get the money back. What it means is that I need to be interested. Once a while, during a casual conversation, you can just pop up. Sometimes it's just testing up. Sometimes watching a movie and seeing a wedding scene. Oh, babe, do you like this? This wouldn't be bad, though. You will get to know what she thinks.
Wants. Okay.
Oh, I like this. Sometimes they will be sending you vendors. Vendor list, they'll be pushing you. They will see something very nice, magnanimous happening on somewhere, and they will push it to you. Babe, this one is AF.
Well, you see the wedding Mr. Practice MC. Have you seen what's going on there?
It's giving you a hint.
Yeah.
But it is not bad for people to dream, to have a dream wedding. It is never bad. It is okay for people to have it. It is also never bad for people to say, I want to have a wedding for 3 or 4 or 5 people and spend this amount of money.
Okay. So, Mr. Pratt, on the back of your question, Bridget, you are newly wedded. Yeah, you are fresh in town. The big question is, when you're planning a wedding, should you work with money at hand, or you should consider that, okay, in 6 months, I'm expecting some money. Maybe should I go to the bank and go and borrow? When planning a wedding, should you work with the money you have, or you should consider borrowing from the bank or wherever you're going to get it from?
When we're growing, we all had dreams. Yeah. We all had dreams. I wanted to be a midwife. At some point, I wanted to be a teacher. At some point, I wanted to be a journalist. Today, I'm not a journalist, but at least I'm still towing the communication line. That is not to say that having dreams is bad. But then, once you are dreaming, you should also think of reality, what's actually happening on the grounds. So you have dreams, you want to do a big wedding, and then now you met a man who doesn't have the funds. It doesn't mean that you should go and borrow. No, you can still work your way around it. Okay. You know, so I don't think that you should borrow or go for money from some. I know people who have parents who are ready to support their wedding. Yeah. So even with what you have, your parents are adding up. So I know someone whose reception from engagement wedding was catered by the parents. So you just focus on your clothes and what you're going to wear. If you're lucky, that's fine.
So this question is for you, Mr. Pratt. Some people claim that Ghanaian wedding vendors are expensive. Yeah, if you want to organize a wedding, like a moderate one, you spend a lot, from photographer to MC to decor to makeup, you name it. So how do you cut down on costs?
One of the finest things that you need to do is that, first of all, you need to have a budget. You need to have a realistic budget. There are several ways. Some people are able to leverage on relationships to beat down the cost. I know of a gentleman, for all the wedding vendors he brought top notch, he had about 50 to 60, 70% discount. Oh, yeah. And the wedding was like this, but if you see it, it's because of his relationship with vendors. He has that very good relationship. So you might see it on social media, oh, this wedding will cost like 150,000 or 300,000 cedis because of the caliber of vendors on board. So start budgeting, start planning. So you say that when you look at your projections and your inflows, this is what you can do. Even if you put 1,000 cedis down every month, you can save 5 years for your wedding. There are people who plan their vacations. So somebody will say, I want to plan my vacation the next 5 years. You can plan and save some amount of money for your wedding. The other thing that people need to really pay attention to, there are peak seasons and there are off-peak seasons. If you are going to get married in December, it's very likely you'll pay more.
A lot.
It makes sense with our economics. The demand is very high in December. Families are traveling down Abroche for bar, so that's when they want to have the weddings, because so there are a lot of people in country, so the demand shoots up. It's a peak season. Why do you want to do it in a peak season? You need to think twice about it. An off-peak season will probably be between February, March, April. Is an off-peak season. So you might decide that, okay, let me put it around that side. That time, Mr. Pratt is not overly booked. So even when I talk to him and I ask for a discount, he's a human being. He's also looking for work and get some money. So that time, I can slash it by 30 or 40%. Okay. You are saving some amount of money there. Yeah. So you don't necessarily have to push it to December when everybody would have to come. Another thing people really need to pay attention to is that I think that I would encourage people to get planners. It helps. Because what they are able to do is that they're able to track your expenses and let you know. Don't forget that 2, 3, 4, 5 days before the wedding, that is where your expenses will shoot up the most.
Yeah,
it spikes like that.
I heard.
That is where the unplanned costs aspect of it will come in. So you would spend a lot. You see, that is where people tend to go and borrow. So in the rush of things, let me see a friend, let me talk to somebody who can quickly organize some money for me. Because the thing, I count 5 days. Oh yeah, then you have to.
This cannibal.
This cannibal. So it shoots up. So what a planner will do is that they're able to manage that aspect of the unplanned cost for you very well. Sometimes they use their relationship. Maybe you have discussed 200 food. Food for 200 people because of the planner's relationship with the food vendor. Now, just a week before, you've shot it up to 400. But they have ways and means to speak to the vendors to manage the cost for you. Sometimes they are good friends. I have friends that when their colleagues are getting money, they can pay 5,000 cedis each. They don't mind. The money is there. Yeah. So if you have 10 of them paying 5,000, it's sorted you like. It's sorted
so Amma, how can you use friends to cut down cost?
Oh, you can. Like he's saying, if you have a circle who can give 5,000, you might not have that group of people who have that amount of money to give you, but you might have people who use their time. They would use their like their strength. I remember during my wedding, most of my mother's friends, they didn't sleep. They were all in the house, they don't have money to help you, but they can come. If you want them to sleep outside till the day, they would do that, to cook rice, cook banku, they will help you. And personally, I think that friends would help. Even sometimes the emotional stress that you go through during planning and all of that, sometimes just a call from a friend, hello, how's everything going? Sometimes you are tense, and just a call or a message, it helps. So support from friends is not always about financial. The financial one too is very important.
It's very important.
It helps. It goes a long way
to help.
But the little things, if you can't help. I remember a friend was getting then I was at GIG, I was a student, I didn't have anything. So I went to the house when I heard that, oh, this particular day they'll be wrapping their things. I had to go and help. I went there to help. So when I got there, he's like, Amma, this is motto, this is this, that. Oh, my friend brought this, so what are you bringing? I felt so bad. I'm like, so all this that I'm doing, I went there, I don't know, my brother. I went there, even on the engagement day, I didn't sleep. I was there helping with everything. So I think people don't appreciate those things from friends, and it's not good.
But you don't fault them. DJ Genesica.
You know, I understand.
DJ Genesica. I'm not the one to cater for all.
Then I know that one guy insulted me.
I understand.
It shouldn't be like that, as Bridget is saying.
It shouldn't be like that. Because
so we'll take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll delve more into how families can help with friends and the issue of bridesmaid. If you are called to be a bridesmaid, who caters for all the costs? This is Moans and Cuddles on Ghana Web TV. We'll be right back.
We table issues relating to the arts and entertainment for a riveting discussion, of course, without fear nor favor.
The question the presenter asked them was a dumb question. You need to speak the fact and move.
Varied views. We agree to disagree.
So I would disagree with everything you said. I think that he's a smart guy. I think what he did.
No, but I also said he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I guess that I'm waiting for the what next. Yeah,
I don't think that we have to wait for what next.
It sometimes gets confrontational, but that's the beauty of the game.
Today you are denying funny face. It's not my brother. Today you are denying funny face. I don't know him. You don't know funny face. It's not my brother. You don't know funny face.
It's a package. We meet, we sit, we dialogue, we learn, we progress. My name is Benefo Wabin Abrantepa, a proud blogger, and this is my forum.
Welcome back to Moans and Cuddles on Ghana Web TV. The show is proudly sponsored by Cheesy Pizza. Now, before we were going on the break, we were talking about how friends can help and all that. But then some people, married couple, have said that, okay, we contacted this vendor, maybe for decor, for makeup and this and that. What we paid for is not what the person delivered. Vendors too have said that, oh, I spoke to this couple, they said I should come do it. They'll pay me in half. After everything, I'm chasing them for the money. Mr. Pra, I don't know if you've heard stories like that, and B, I don't know if you've been disappointed or anything. So in issues like that, how do you ensure that your vendor delivers exactly what you're paying for?
I don't know. I don't know how. Maybe a professional planner will be able to speak to that, because you cannot tell, say, a risk now take it, and you're just believing that he will deliver that day. And the sad thing about it is, on that day, if you get there and he or she doesn't deliver, there's nothing you can do about it. And you're very, so before you patronize someone, you can check their history, maybe on their social media page. Sometimes you can check their comments. Some people like disappointing, or someone who has purchased their products or their services before. So based on that, you can say that, okay, this person is trustworthy, and that you cannot, he or she, but even that, some people will still disappoint you.
People, I think that what people need to do is to be very responsible to themselves on their wedding day. And how you could be responsible, you are investing some amount of money. At least take some time to know who is doing this. Why is the person doing this? Get to check with other things. So I know that what they do, first of all, that's why we talk about dealing with professionals. Gone are the days when you can't deal with a professional. You could just pick up a random guy, gentleman. Once the person can talk, he's an MC, let me put him there. But they are professionals. For myself and a few colleagues who are in the industry, they know how to work. I have a reputation, I have a brand. Of the over 500 weddings that I've done, I've never showed up late. Never showed up late. So because I have a reputation to protect. There are people that, okay, so if you can't, then the next question someone will be asking, so what if I can't afford you? What do I do? You need to make sure that you check. Learn to itemize things. If you probably could not have the money to afford for a planner who would have to do all these things for you, learn to itemize things and learn to write things. Whatever you have agreed with your decor person, please have an evidence. It should be in a written document. Demand for it. That we have agreed for A, B, C, D. Let the person itemize it and share with you. I know a particular bride, even though she didn't go for a planner, she planned her wedding from UK. She doesn't know anybody here. But she kept engaging us, itemizing everything. When I ran her through the program lineup, everything, the timing, who is responsible for what. The husband was also involved. And we had to do this via Zoom. The bride was in UK, the husband was in Portugal. We're doing conversations and they planned their wedding perfectly. People usually will not take ownership when it comes to their own wedding, and so they leave it like that. Even when you have a planner, be in constant conversation, engage the person. It is your wedding. This is how you see that you want things to be. You are the only one who is seeing the dream, and you've sold it out to the decor, the planner, and everything. Make sure that as time goes on, day 1, day 2, your guide, are you close to the dream? Is it something that they are not bringing? Be interested.
So you should get talking so that you don't end up surprised. Like, this is not what I want. Okay, all right. But from what we've said, now it's obvious that a wedding is not all about the man. A woman too contributes towards it. So Bridget, as a woman, when do you start saving towards your marriage? Is it when you're young, maybe from 25, or maybe when the man pops up the question, that's when you start saving? Because sometimes you don't get the time. A man asks you out, okay, I want to go see your parents. And then in 4 months, we are getting married.
Yeah.
It's a surprise to me. Do I have the money to cater for all my bridesmaids and all the things? So when do you start saving?
In Ghana, the way our system is no, I don't know, because national service, no. Ideally, maybe unless maybe you have other side business. But even me, when I was on campus, I had businesses. I was selling mashke and other things. But and was asking a hand to mouth. Once it comes now, you're using it for something. So then I will save it towards your wedding. And once you start national service, and maybe you have some siblings or you have family issues you have to cater for, and some are fortunate. Right after service, you meet someone who wants to marry you. What do you have? You don't have anything to say.
Even in school, sometimes people get married in school when you're not having a job and stuff like that.
It is those who work for some time. So personally, what I did was, when the offer was brought to the table.
Which offer was that?
You know, when the marriage offer was brought to the table, I think by then I had finished my service. That was when it wasn't like a proposal. I started talking about, oh, okay, when are we going to do this? When are we going to do that? So I told him that, oh, I need some time to work. So there are certain things that I don't know personally. I find very difficult asking for. There are some certain things that I find, like my shoes. I feel that those things are petty, and I should be able to get it myself. And as at that time, I didn't have anything that I can, send me who train me. I would have to always call. So I told him that, oh, he should give me time. So I think since 2019, and I worked for some time, and then 2021. So when we started the year, he said that, oh, this year, I guess this should happen. I'm like, okay, I have some coins that I can, because I have 4 brothers. I'm the firstborn. What would they wear even on that day? All bills are on me, so I needed to, So I think that, I don't know, there's no rule that at this particular age you should start saving towards your marriage. When I was in Sunday school, my Sunday school teacher used to tell me that you should start praying into your marriage. As for that one, you know that, oh,
they tell us to pray, but then they're saving. They have not heard though. No, it's just praying into your marriage, your future marriage, but savings there. Yes. It's true.
As for that, you can be praying. Even once you are born, you can be praying. That one doesn't cost a thing. But they're saving. I think once you get a job, you can start saving. Once you get a job.
But then I've had instances where they say that, okay, for a woman, when it comes to the list, the items on your list, you should leave it to the man to buy. Which they say is like customary, he's the one coming in for the... And then other women have said, oh, I have clothes, I can wrap it and put it in, it doesn't matter, after all, it's mine. How would you advise? Is it, for you as a man, would you love your woman to come in and support, especially like with the wedding bands and then, all the clothes? So would you prefer that a woman comes in to help, or you take care of it? So
there are different traditional settings that explains this. The West might do it differently from the Northerners. The Northerners might do it differently from the Gans. But we have something similar that runs through. I mean, the idea of paying the bride price and spending some amount of money is to tell the whole world that she's a jewel, she's a precious asset. What I say, the parents have, and also you want to, you are just expressing, say, I am grateful. This is just a token. I'm not buying.
No, it's not buying. Let them understand that it's not buying.
But I should be able to. So I think that it depends on the two of you. Ideally, I think that the man should bear percentage of majority of the cost.
On the list.
On the list. Majority of the cost. That would mean that you need to prepare. That's when preparation comes to play. You need to prepare and bear majority of the cost. Now, guess what? What's even happening nowadays is that even with the bride price that they pay, so you pay like 2,000, 3,000 cedis at bride price. You know what? When a lady collects the money, she brings it back home and says, husband, take it back. She brings it back home
the bride price goes to the, I thought it goes to the family.
No, the bride price is yours. It's for the woman.
It's for the woman.
Really?
Yeah.
Until almost she say, okay, we have made about 2,000-3,000.
Hey, Bridget, I bet you. I'll tell my mother.
Funny, someone saw my list and told my dad, I created one general.
Oh, baby, but if the bride price goes to me,
yes,
then
it's yours.
That one is my money, so it's my capital.
To start something.
That's
fine. So it's the understanding between the two of you. And you're thinking, people should understand. It's not like that. So it's more flexible. We are human beings. It's somebody you're going to spend the rest of your life with. Okay, so you're cool. That's what. So it depends on the two of you and how you communicate. So there's nothing wrong. People should understand that it's okay. Sometimes when you get things for free, the kind of value you place on it, it should cost you. When it costs you, you will know that exactly, but not excessively cost you.
That's what we're preaching. There are some parents who say, maybe you are my child, you are my daughter, you're getting married to this man. Like, oh, mommy, I want an intimate ceremony, so at least maximum 100 people. And the mother is, hey, you've forgotten all your aunties, all my friends. They'll give you a tour list. they'll tell you, go and tell your husband that this is our people. We cannot exclude them. Meanwhile, you know what you want. You know what your husband can afford. So in instances like this, when parents come with so many demands, should they cater for that cost? Should you insist that this is what we have? If you want us to do a buffet, so some people want a cocktail. After that, we're done and gone. But then some people, hey, my friends will come. I have to let them know that it's my daughter who is getting married. So Bridget, in such a situation, how will you handle it?
I think that you should be firm.
You should be firm.
Yes, you should be firm. If you have decided, you have sat down as a couple, you decided that you want to do this.
Okay.
You should be firm because those things will come. Your mom will come and say this, your dad, sometimes even your boss in the office will come and be telling you things that she wants you to do at your own wedding. You know, that person is not related to you, but maybe because of the relationship you have and all of that. So you have to be firm. Because when you are planning for your wedding, a lot of ideas, a lot of people will say so many things. Hey, and oh, you say, a lot of things. But once you are firm, oftentimes it's the men who are, we ladies want to know.
I think I want this.
You know,
add this to it.
You know, then your mind is changing. Fortunately for me, the Church of Pentecost has, we've made things simple such that every young guy can also get married. You know, people want to get married, but looking at the pressure from social media, this person has done this, so I also want to do that. So they are not, that's what ends up in boring and all of that. So our church like this, we've banned reception. If you want to do it before your wedding, I have to go and sign a bond of 1844 that you will not do a reception. And you sign it, your pastor will sign, your area head will also sign to show that you're not doing that. And they just want to encourage people who cannot afford such luxurious weddings to be able to do weddings, simple weddings.
So a little Betty told me that nowadays if you go to weddings, give table, it's just going to be empty. So if you're thinking that you're inviting 200 people, like, oh, at least they will contribute money or anything. How true is it?
Very true.
Guests presenting gift items, cash and all that.
Very true.
I think that people, it's gradually fading off. Where people give tables, so you might announce gift table, announce it, nothing really happens. Some people would also present their gifts maybe days before the wedding. Now the thing about wedding, the deciding factor for your costs to shoot up is the number of guests. So I can have a budget of 20,000 and do 100. Another person will have a budget of 20,000 with 500 people. You can compare. One guest will have better or quality engagement at the wedding and will feel better. They will eat well, they listen to good music than the other people. So people should take note of this. Your guests, your numbers, your average spend per guest, you should always put it into consideration. So if you have planned to do 200 guests and you know that you're averagely spending about 200 cedis per guest, that's your plan. Okay, mommy says 3 days before, she says, I have 50 guests. Okay, mommy, I'm spending 200 cedis per head per guest. So if you have 50, 200 by 50 is 10,000. It's okay, it's fine. It's fine. But you see, the reason why they do that, let's not forget that in Africa, marriage is between two families. Yeah. The reason why it happens is that when you were young and you were not studying, there was a neighbor next door who could check up on you to make sure you are who you are today. A lot of people have inputs in our growing up. And so naturally, when you grow up, they're excited. They want to be part of that beautiful grand day. So that is why they want to get involved. So if you are coming in and you want to support me, maybe you are bringing a cow, you are bringing one full chicken, you are bringing this, it's allowed, it's opened. But if you are not and you're going to add up numbers, I'm sorry, it's beyond my budget. You should be firm and say it is beyond me. However, let's try and find ways and means to manage that. Either, okay, probably they're not coming to the reception, you host them at home, or because, so I'm not going to, because of your extra list, going to change my dream wedding, which I've matched with my budget. I know this is what I can do with this money. But because you are adding up the numbers, it will distort the whole thing. And also, there are very good deals. Look out for very good deals as well. People forget that. Vendors give out very good deals during certain times of the year. Look out, whilst you're on Instagram, that's why you need to speak to the professionals. You can get very good deals. I've had professionals, when you come to me straight, I'll charge you this amount of money. But if you're coming through probably Paula, who is a planner, I'll reduce it because of the relationship with Paula. Okay. So these things are always there. So you could, and people should understand that there are different grades and different levels. If your money cannot take A vendor or B vendor, find somebody who is equally good. Not because you some people, because they want to cut down costs, they just go for anybody. They will mess up your event. Find somebody who is equally good, and then you say, okay, this is what I have. And be realistic with your budget. This is what I have. I have 10,000 cedis. This is what I want to happen. The person will say, okay, let's take out this element, that element. Maybe let's not go for tables. With the same table, there are different other options.
Grades.
Something, different grades that will still look good and presentable. So let's do it.
So wedding planners do help, and then sometimes they help come.
A lot of professionals do.
Still on the gifts, my dear.
The gift table day, my sister, is sad. It is sad because, let me use myself as an example. I had over 500 people at my wedding. But when I got the book from the gift table, it was less than 100. I'm like, nothing. But like he said, some people before the event, some people cannot help you financially. So we had one woman in our church who sells cassava and condo. Another person sells tilapia.
That's all part of the gift.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
So probably if you want to add up
those ones,
they are. It makes sense. But on that day, the gift table day. See, those days, at least when you cry, you get some cup, silver. Now I think those things are fading out. People bring envelopes money, and we like the envelopes too.
And
some people are saying that they want the envelopes.
Yes, people put down their Momo numbers for people to even send. People put down Momo numbers. And actually, what is even happening is that there are new platforms for your guests to even issue payment once they receive the invitation. So they set up, so things are advancing. So you set up an invitation platform, you send it to you, you receive the invitation. Once you come, even at the wedding, it's been activated at the wedding. For people who want to give their gifts, you can pay. So once you issue the command, you can pay via mobile money, Visa or anything. And then, so things are really changing.
So those who are planning their wedding, I think we can put this one in the whole money thing. Yeah, because sometimes someone might want to give, but then they don't have physical cash.
Those who
but
bring the small cups and silvers and things. You open a very big box and you open it and it's just some. And some small plates with us.
We can do better. We can do better because once someone invites you, the fact that they say, "Oh, you're invited. I'm inviting you to my wedding." At least they think that okay, you are good enough. You've been close. So let's show some love. Let's show some
of the ladies are just coming to slay, to show their addresses and
they
go
need
back.
Content. Hey, they need to feed the content. There are people are viewing. They need to tell them I was there. Some.
Alright, sure. Alright, sure. So remember that the show is proudly sponsored by Cheesy Pizza. Now, based on what our guests have said, I know you've learned a thing or two. So if you're planning a wedding, I can use some of the suggestions that they've made. So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, Moans Cuddles still continues.
From the dawn of time, people have engaged in several businesses. With the onset of technology and innovation, life has relatively been made easier. By using debit or credit cards,
mobile banking.
Thank you. And your favorite, mobile money?
Tech has indeed married business. On BizTech, we spend time with faces behind known and upcoming businesses in the country.
Learn more about the new technologies and innovation,
as well as find out about the trending issues in the world of business.
Join us as we serve you with a variety of compelling interviews, projects, and others right here on Ghana Web TV.
You're still watching Moans Cuddles on Ghana Web TV. Now remember, the show is proudly sponsored by Cheesy Pizza. Cheesy Pizza has got all you want from juices, smoothies, jollof, fried rice, spag and meatballs. We have great deals for you all week round. Cheesy Pizza gives you cheesy combo every Monday and Thursday. With only 49 cedis, you get one small pizza, fries and chicken, one Coca-Cola drink at all branches. Tuesdays are Super Tuesday at all Cheesy Pizza branches. Buy your Super Family Pizza at half price every Tuesday for 40 cedis at all Cheesy Pizza branches. Be part of the midweek bonanza every Wednesday. Buy and get one free at all Cheesy Pizza branches. And also remember to start your weekend with special jollof and fried rice from Cheesy Pizza branches every Friday. Call 026-413-3397 to place your order. Cheesy Pizza, your way. So as part of today's conversation, I had a peer discussion with some of my friends just to talk about the whole issue about planning a wedding, how to cut down costs, and all the drama that comes with it. So you take a look at it.
Hey, but me, I want a big wedding. I have to have a big wedding. Look at this. Oh my God, look at that.
Wow, you love a gown.
This girl, why? Are you going to finance your own wedding or something?
Why are you getting married?
I wonder.
Not soon, but you know, my future husband is just around the corner.
You have a wedding? So you want a big wedding?
Yes, I want a big wedding. Like the largest wedding.
Me, with COVID experience, I don't think I'll ever advise anybody to go for a big wedding because I've realized that sometimes people take loan for these weddings.
Okay.
And with my COVID experience, it was something that was unpredicted. Like it just came and people lost their jobs and you know, you are back to square one. What if I take a loan and
you can't
pay and COVID comes? How am I going to survive? I'd rather have a discussion with my partner.
I want to ask her, you were saying I want a big wedding. Yes. Are you financing?
Who's paying for the wedding?
Oh, everything will be on the guy.
Well, if I have the means, definitely. Right now, yeah, you know, I'm upcoming, you know. So when it's time, I'll definitely have the means and support my husband.
So is it going to be a 50% or you just...
No, I don't believe
50.
We understand that the man
Why
is...
50-30?
In our home, we believe that the man is literally buying a woman. So he has to take a cost of everything.
Everything. And she is very expensive and extravagant wedding.
I decide what I want you to buy, like I want to buy myself. Sometimes I feel maybe your decision in making my dress choice won't be nice. I'll tell you that okay, I'll take bear the cost.
Yeah.
But when it comes to basic like me, Nimatu, I should tell you to take 50%. I take what I want.
Let's draw the line here. I think that a lot of you want big marriages.
Yes.
You want flashy marriages.
Yes.
But we all know where it ends up.
Eventually,
it all ends up at the point where the man finances a lot of it. I don't have a problem with extravagant weddings, but I think that sometimes we must be a little reasonable when we are going to marriages. Okay. Like Dima said, beyond even COVID.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are you looking for? Maybe we should define what extravagant is.
The decor, I have to have some doves in the sky.
Oh,
With some chandelier lighting. If you are not getting married now, you would be talking this way, but when you get to that point, that is when reality sets in. It is money.
I know,
and
right?
it is dreams.
Yes.
So if the money is not there, can you have the dogs running
But
around?
what if my partner can afford the land?
He can. Eventually, it comes to the man.
Because at the end of the day,
I don't mind having maybe Shatawale as my wedding. And he's ready to afford Shatawale as my wedding. You will call it as an extravagant wedding, but I don't see it to be. Maybe he doesn't see it. The thing is how much is too much money.
Okay, but
so if you can afford it.
So should planning be made with resources available at hand, or you can borrow some?
That's what I'm saying, that with my COVID experience, I don't think you should loan to do a party.
And I support that.
Back. But if you have the money there and you have future, people plan for their weddings.
Yeah.
It takes years, people do joint accounts.
Okay.
If you have that and it won't cost you in withdrawing such a money for an event, fine. But if it's something you have to now repay, people think you get gifts, you get money. I can tell you that you can be doing your wedding and you
open the
not get
envelope and you
anything.
have one CD in
A lot of bread.
Nobody goes for it. But if you have it and you say,
but if you have good friends, that's when you will be receiving the thousands and the 2,000.
I don't think you should ever borrow to get married.
So good friends
never
play a big
part.
It's
not necessarily
your network of friends.
It's not necessarily that. You just need to plan your ceremony just for yourself. Never put your mind on anybody at all. Regardless, even your parents. I don't know how much or what kind of contributions. I'm not saying this because maybe it was not done, but
the family,
I didn't
the family
need it.
comes in to help you, especially the bride part. If you're having the food, especially the traditional one, it is the family, the bride's family that takes care of that. So that is where they come in.
But
to
a lot of
support
families too that don't.
But if it is the big wedding, it is your event.
And you want men's cook to
Yes,
come and cook for you.
And dance there.
Let's not forget
And
the doves.
dogs.
Let's not forget the doves. And you want
but nobody should ever
borrow. To start a marriage means you are starting your marriage in debt.
Yes.
What if you are going
That's
to borrow?
I know, right?
You are going to borrow 10,000, 2,000, or maybe 20,000 for the event with the hope that at the gift table we receive 20,000 or 30,000. It will surprise you that you go and open your envelope and then you have one CD in it.
But even as
you get utensils along the line, when you take a loan and maybe something happens or he gets an accident and you've taken a loan and everybody has come to eat and they've left the party.
And
have you wondered what will happen if he loses his job the next day? Anything can happen. From then I didn't know. I wanted a very big wedding. You know, if you can afford it, Kempiski.
And the major thing that make wedding or events planning very expensive is food, accommodation, decor, photography.
Exactly.
I remember when I was planning mine about 2-3 months ago, and then we contacted a food vendor. Okay, in my mind, we wanted to feed 300 people, jollof rice. She was quoting 10,000. I said,
for jollof rice.
For jollof rice, 10,000. And I said, okay, then we'll do reception. Because that is food. That is food, though. Deco hasn't come. Media hasn't come. You have to even hire an MC for that.
Yeah, let's come to the bridesmaids and the groomsmen. You see, most of the times the bridesmaids, you are supposed to sew your own dress.
Imagine you have a friend that afford the lace you want her to wear.
I know that
you the bride. Yeah, you can put a lot of people in debt because of your wedding.
I'm promising you that I want to be rich, not one year. So I would cater for my bridesmaids' dresses and all of that. But should they, pay for everything themselves? Or at least the bride and the groom can
if not,
exactly.
It depends on the relationship the bride has with her friends. If she's not very close with them. Mine, for instance, I didn't choose the fabric for them. I gave them 2 options. Either we go for this one or so. It was 2 of my bridesmaids that went to town and they chose that this is what we want. And the price was quite cheaper than the lace fabric that we go for. Maybe I had this 170 cedis or 100 cedis. But what we opted for, it was like less than 20 cedis or 30 cedis.
Hey, good for you.
That's one. So it is all about planning.
That's for my friends.
You have very reasonable friends.
My friends, right now I have to pay about 1,500 just to be a bride.
Why?
What?
Are you the one getting married?
I was seated somewhere and said, my friend, come and help me. The lace she chose. 65 cedis per yard. I have to buy 2 yards.
And she's not supporting you in any way.
No.
So you have to pay her
just buy me
yourself.
the necklace and earrings.
But what kind of friend is
How
that?
I think and then the sewing, the designer is taking 150
That's very
for the
inconsiderate.
traditional
You should
wedding.
never feel bad
Cedis
for
for
somebody's
white wedding.
ceremony.
It shouldn't be a
And the makeup.
It's wrong.
You've not heard of the makeup.
Tell us.
$40. Why? I'm in Ghana.
Why is he charging
Michael Jackson.
Because she lives abroad. And I'm in Ghana. I was saying my sister in Ghana. Me, last I had 50 and I'm but you two, you're telling me
No, people in Ghana charging 500 cedis and above for
yes, but
makeup.
come to our level. Come to our level.
Before you show
for just 1 hour.
I think you should know their
financial status.
Status. I think if you invite me, first of all, I will feel okay. I'll look at how can I support you. If taking the cost of my outfit will help you manage certain things, I'll do that. But even if I can afford it, doesn't mean you should let me sew a dress for 1,000 cedis. Even when on a normal day I won't wear that. I think you are begging me like it's an extra cost.
So these days people will be like, no, I don't want to do it. I have a wedding these days. It's all means to just swerve all the costs.
This is what someone did, and I agree with the person. And I've always thought that is the best thing. If you are going to get married, your bridal team, don't necessarily need to be the people who are your friends. You can strategically select the people to be your bridesmaids. So a friend of mine did that. He looked out for people who could afford the dresses, who could pay for it without complaining. Okay. They are people he knows, of course. Put them in other roles. Listen, put them in other roles. And if they don't understand, those are not your friends. They don't really understand. Otherwise, you put a lot of burden on me. You want me to pay for? I don't know what I bought for my friends. I got my guys. All I did was get them the brooch, or what do they call those lapels or so, for their black suits. That was all I got for them. But they paid for everything.
I remember when I spoke to my friends, I told them that please, you all have wigs. You've been wearing wigs to wear to church. Please use your own wig. And I'm not going to tell you that we are going to use wavy, straight. Use your own wig.
Bone straight.
Well, my friends, you all have heels. So they agree. Are we going for silver or gold? You all have gold heels. Which one are we opting for? They said, okay, based on what we've chosen, we'll go for. So it was kind of
easy for you.
Understand communication.
Yes, communication. I told them I don't want to financially burden them. I was taking care of their makeup for the 2 days, but I didn't want to financially burden them because I knew that wig will cost you about 500 to the 600.
Even depending on your grade, grade 12. So
I told them, please, you all have wigs. Use the same wig you've been wearing to work for church. Use it. And then use your own heel that you've been wearing to work or to any outing that you do.
There's no need for
tell that, okay, you have to buy my new
low budget weddings. That's what they call it.
It's not low budget. It's not low budget. It looks like the event.
No, it's not.
It's a well-planned wedding.
No, it's low budget. Low budget doesn't mean cheap.
No, that's how we understand.
You had like
low budget.
I think a problem is the way we see
low budget is like they had a budget and then they cut down costs to the cheapest.
But yes, our parents, if our parents want to take part in the wedding, like for instance catering and all of that,
you should bring the money.
If they want it to be big,
bring the money.
Would you want your parents to get involved?
My father-in-law wanted food. I told him I can't afford it. He said I'll pay. I said thank you. And we had a wedding.
My father surprised me. My father paid for my cake.
That's all.
And even I think 1 week to the event, he sent me 3,000 cedis.
That's right.
I was in the office when I received the Momo alert. It came at a time I wasn't expecting it. Yes. Because I had worried them in other aspects. So
how about other people? They want to cook. Like if you want to my sister put your drinks in ice chest and then serve your people for me. So you can't say you can buy any answer.
Oh yes.
Sometimes you can marry into a very rich family. They have a standard. They want it. I think in that situation, allow them do whatever they want to.
Those people don't call for caterers.
No, they should contribute, but they shouldn't force you, the man or the woman, to go extra mile to bear a cost you can afford. If you think you are my husband, if you think you are from a first-class family, I think you should find a way to sort it out. You tell me, please, I'll take care of the food because of how you want it. Because me, from where I'm coming, I'll do a normal food. I won't go for men's food. But if you want to keep a standard or maintain a standard, and you think I can afford it, don't overburden me. Don't tell me to go for men's cook. Tell me, oh, I think I'll take care of it. I think it's even respectful.
I just want to add to what Nima said. Nima said something very profound about the fact that you just need to stay within your means. So, and also, I also think I'm not married, but with a few people that I know are married, I don't think you should have a certain expectation when you are married, because in marriage you have to still maintain it. So your spouse is also watching what you are doing for them. If you're not able to come through for the wedding, you should be able to also come through perhaps maybe a birthday or something. Every level should be the next one. But if you go and take have a very extravagant wedding, and then now the birthday you just give her something, she'll be like, and it causes problem because there's an expectation. The best thing that happened to me.
Blessing in my life.
I can't want to
Besides the financial distance, I I still want a big
So you have to
wedding.
Wait, let me also tell you. I also wanted a very big wedding. And my partner said, okay, we just go to the court, you sign, we have the 2-in-1, and I get you a gift.
Yes, the 2-in-1 wedding, they will say a good idea.
Yes, it is. It saves you money.
Imagine you come.
Now what about mass wedding? Mass wedding.
Mass weddings aren't bad. Mass weddings aren't bad.
Okay, maybe I get you a Jeep Wrangler.
Okay.
Wow. Who doesn't want Jeep Wrangler?
So now to our guest. We've heard a lot, we've said a lot. I know it's important that we had this conversation because unless you decide not to marry, but then one time some of us we want to marry. So there are some things that you should know to avoid the mistakes that some people have made. But then when it comes to planning, some people say there are certain unnecessary things we include in our budget. Mr. Pratt or Bridget, have you identified anything that you might, like, you know, maybe this thing we could have done, we could just do away with it, but then it costs a whole lot of money. What are some of the things that we can say that these things are so not necessary?
It differs from person to person. Okay. It depends on the couple or the individual, because I would say that a bridal train with many bridesmaids and groomsmen is not necessary, but it's worth it for someone else. Yeah. I would say that, oh, reception is just a waste of money and time, but for someone it is. There's no formula on how to make a wedding. There's no particular formula. Some people, when you contact especially the decor people, they'll ask you, do you want a lot of floral works? Do you want it to be exaggerated? Do you want this? So it depends on what you want.
Somebody has money and will just go and buy a motorbike worth $100,000. Is it necessary? It's not necessary. You can use $100,000 to buy a whole mansion for some other person. But you see, it's subjective, like she's saying. So it depends on what I want. So if I want something glamorous and loud, that would inform the inputs, because the outcome is that I want something glamorous and loud. What it means is that I need a 70-train bridal party because I want to make a statement. I want it to be loud. For all you know, I have struggled though. I've had several broken hearts. Plenty.
This table.
Plenty. University level, some girl be show me. You call it Juma National Service. You call it girl also the atreme. For you know, I want to prove to them that hey,
come and see my wife.
Come and see my wife.
Okay.
I need to make a statement. That is me. What we are trying to do is that weddings have become is the ultimate, is like a good start for something. It's a narrative. You want to tell a story. Now it's gone beyond just being ceremonials. People are trying to add the intimate and personal touch because it should be reflective of what I've been through. So that's where it is going. That's the level it's getting to. So there's this lady who recently did a wedding and it was a whole fairy tale. She dressed like Cinderella. She's always wanted this.
Right from. Like, yeah.
She will come in the ball with the horses. She's always wanted this, and it was very beautiful. For you know, if you are Cinderella, fatal.
Yeah.
That's exactly. So you need to do something you are comfortable. One can say nice attire, we share one say be attire, we be share say attire. But one watch then we feel good. And for me, that's what I advise a lot of people. Once it makes you comfortable, it doesn't put pressure on your finances. So no pressure. Enjoy. It's your day. Enjoy it. If you think that just doing cocktail, sharing cheesy pizza,
this is your own thing, you go according to
once you're comfortable, because you should be able to look back and say, I did my wedding, I wanted it this way. One guy's and trust me, it's
some people, even whilst they are seated at the events, they are thinking about the thousands of CDs.
Yeah.
You might be, the groom has frowned. He doesn't want to dance.
And it's real. It's true. I've had weddings that I've managed that you will do everything. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here to pop a champagne, blah blah blah. Obey your ding, hey, obey your ding. On say you, then you know say matter day, problems day, and then yes, I know sir, it has serious impacts in your after the wedding. Yeah. I mean, somebody would tell me that, a wise man once said, the easiest part of the entire marriage process is the wedding ceremony. That's the easiest part.
Easiest.
Now, no crampo wo now, because there are a lot of things. You want to get into something. Let's not forget, you have rent to pay. You need to get a now there you cry and easy cry and say a dino wako you know common TV wait okay 2K is that K
that's true
2K TV 4K 5K hey light our talk
now the curve TV there and only
now I can say
K no boom in area maza
so one could dim
and it's not easy.
It's not
so
easy.
People should be realistic. It happens if you want your fairy tale wedding is different from her fairy tale wedding. Maybe her fairy tale wedding is to have the grandmother seated next to her, and that is everything for her. So there is no standard of wedding there and because there are no 15 bridesmaids into there. The way I measure a good wedding is how I wanted it versus how I got it.
Bridget, let me throw this to you because I've been a victim. Someone will invite you, I want you to be my maid of honor, bridesmaid. You are excited, only for you to know the cost involved. 2K, as Mr. Price is saying, 2K, 1K. KK. So if you're a bride and you invite a friend to be your maid of honor or bridesmaid, should you cater for the cost or the bridesmaids are supposed to? Because we need to have a discussion on this. It's getting serious.
From the beginning, it is you. You want this type of wedding, and you are calling on these people to help you. So you should be ready for it. At least, if for nothing at all, you should buy their dresses or something. Some people want that glamorous wedding, but they don't have the finances to help their friends. Then you, the bridesmaid, you become. As for me, I've been victims. But the one that I enjoyed was my first bridesmaid duty. I didn't pay anything. I was just bring your body and let's go. Yes, she sold my dress, my hair, everything. And when you are doing that, you are so happy to help the person. But when you have to buy your own, sometimes you even have the shoe already. They will say, no, I want all 15 of you to wear the same thing.
They'll tell you, I want this designer to
and they'll
sew your
take
clothes,
you to their own shop. Maybe you know some joints in Mokola that is
cheaper.
But no, I want you all to buy it from here so that when we are doing the vendor, this thing I will mention, that person will make me trend. It's headache.
So can you back out if you get that invitation and then the cost is just going beyond?
The problem is the relationship you have with the person.
Yes. That's what I was going to touch on. You see, the fact that we shouldn't. Why do you have a bridesmaid? Why do you have a groomsman? Why do you have a best man? There are people whom you have a relationship with. Paul, if I've known you for 15 years, you've been my friend, you are getting married, you don't even need to tell me. The kind of help I will give to you because of the relationship that we have. So on the day, if you tell me, I will wear everything you want me to wear without even knowing that I have to spend money on it because I have a relationship with you. Some people do not have a relationship with me. And just because they are seen in church singing with you, or they are saying, oh, this is my friend. Oh, Paula is on TV. And they do that a lot, especially when they're a bit popular. Oh, Paula is on TV. She's my friend. I mean, they say, oh, let me add it. It will add some class to it. Near the buyer, building.
You've not even budgeted for that.
Be realistic. If I don't have a relationship with you, there is nothing wrong with saying no. I'm sorry, I cannot be a part of this. Because you see, you're going to add up to the love story. I should have a relationship with you. I don't know why I would appear, go, and doing all of that. And I barely know you.
You need a 5K.
So I can support you with what I have, what I think that when I wear I'll look good. The problem comes in when they are dictating what you should wear.
No, but it's not
the lace is 500 cedis per yard. Meanwhile, you can afford that.
And they'll take you to their seamstress. Maybe your seamstress will charge you some 20 cedis. Their seamstress is charging
me, if
like
I can, I will say I can do.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, you need to be very realistic.
So my point is, if you want it this way, then you should be able to cater for it. But if you are telling me that, oh, I want you to be part of, some brides don't care, even if you don't wear the same heels. So far as it's gold, everybody is in gold. Maybe it's silver. But some people are very particular. I want everything the same hairstyle. Maybe I just braided my hair today and the wedding is next. But I said, no, you have to go and change it, and it's on your own bill. So, and I also think that it depends on your circle. You should also look at your circle. Yeah. Maybe you have friends, you have
completed school. Where are you going to get that money from? Exactly.
But if you have friends that you've worked for some time and you feel that, oh, everybody can fund.
Please, if you want them to appear all glamorous, know who to call. You cannot
Yes,
go and call
exactly.
Sister Rama's child and you expect that you should buy a lace 500
Yes,
cedis. Exactly. But Bridget, who pays for the bachelorette? Now, you know, the party before the wedding, men do have their own. Women too, we take our bachelorettes very seriously. So do you contribute? How is it going to go? Because some people also have a plan, even for the bachelorettes. They know where they want to have it.
People should not undermine the value of relationships. If you don't have relationship with people, these things won't come natural. You will now start forcing it. You will start forcing it and trying to pick people who would come and fit in and do it and just hang for cake because I'm spending 1K. When in 5K. 5K. Oh, because I don't know you and I don't know how people are able to do that. But you see, the whole thing about wear the same shoe, the same dress, a uniformity, and it's nice. So if it's this shade of what shade of brown is this? So all brown. Cockroach brown. Cockroach brown. If a cockroach brown, the reason why I say F, we're all in cockroach brown. We've done the same hairstyle. F need na yet to us. Then want to cockroach brown, but mosquito brown.
Uniform. Alright. I don't know about the guys, but what I know is, for the ladies, the bridesmaids are supposed to do it to surprise the bride. So you, the bride, you're not even supposed to know. Like sometimes you be somewhere and they'll plan everything. But now the brides themselves, I did a bridesmaid. The bride herself planned everything. She created the group. When she finished that, she left the group and she told us to continue. So she now had her own venue, everything. She had put everything. Then she said that okay, if we have anything to surprise, so that it will look like a surprise. Then she exited the group.
Maybe she didn't want to burden.
Exactly.
Maybe she had a particular taste. But
that makes sense. That one helps.
You let me space now, Mombra, because it be too much of.
Yes, that makes sense.
All right, it's been an interesting conversation. Lots of education stuff here. But finally, any words that you have and advice for people who are planning to marry and those who will find themselves in debt because it can't be fair. Like they are dealing with it. A whole lot that have come after the marriage. What would your advice be, Mr. Pratt?
So my advice would be, let's do a cost-effective thing. It's your story. You are going to tell your story. You should see yourself living on the day. You shouldn't see yourself dead after the day. So you need to manage your cost very, very well. Look out for deals. Look out for best places. There are a lot of, even if you can't afford the most luxurious event centers, there are very good hotels who are allowing spaces for you to manage your 1K, 2K, so that you can manage it. So please, my advice to people, get professionals, understand what you are doing, and please take ownership. Take ownership of your own event. As much as 1K, 2K, 3K, something of yours will go out of your pocket. Please be interested in what goes into it and take ownership. Find professionals. Find people who have good history, and they are professionals. They will deliver on time. They will deal with excellence. These people have better relationships and they can help you manage your costs. Don't just go for anybody. If you know that you can do or you can fall on the people to execute your job for you, fine, that's okay. But please be interested in your own wedding day.
Your focus should be on planning the marriage and not planning the wedding. If you have that at the back of your mind, you are looking at what lies after the event. Oftentimes we miss that. Our focus is on the wedding, the engagement, and then the wedding day. So everything is there, you know. So once we finish the whole thing and people have come to eat, drink, and they have gone back, then we are now going into the actual thing, then reality hits us. Some of the ladies, once they meet the guy who can give them their dream wedding, this is my guy, I'm going for him. But maybe there's something about him that you can't live with, because marriage is for the rest of your life. I'm stuck with Mr. Ilidu for the rest of my life. But I like the first night to go home, I'm like, so I'm not going to be seeing my brothers every day like I see them. I won't see my dad. I'm so attached to my dad. And he hits me, I'm like, hey, this thing too, Charlie.
Charlie. Your husband is only there.
You know, and the funny thing about marriage is, even if you fight, you still wake up and you see him beside you. You can't run away. You have nowhere, because my mother, if I go home, she will sack me. She will sack me to come back. So I think people should think of marriage. They should plan towards marriage and not focus. It's fine to plan your events, because after, you know, you should plan it. But once you're planning your events, think of the future, think of the aftermath. If you have that in mind, you won't go and borrow and do all those things. If you're planning for your future, Charlie, people have plans. People have plans that right after the wedding, I want my wife to start driving this car. And they put their monies into those things.
Put on your social media handles where we can reach you and, you know, if anything you want.
All right, so it's Mr. Pratt everywhere. MYSTERPRATT. Mr. Pratt, MYSTERPRATT. Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. That's the same name.
All right. Mrs. Aimedu.
I mean, who's going to look for me?
Are you sell shoes? Mrs. Aimedu, you are hot cake. All the heels that you sell, stuff
really?
like that.
Okay. I sell shoes. So Instagram, G's Collection. Facebook, G's Collection. G is DZII''S, G's Collection. But personally, Instagram, Bridget Jifa, Facebook, Bridget Nanama Jifa JMF. I think I have to change it to Bridget Aimedu.
Mrs. Aimedu, once again, congratulations on that. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
I did the show with Mr. Pratt. He is a wedding MC, and Bridget Aimedu. She's an assistant director at the Ministry of Information. She also sells heels and lads. So ladies, you can contact her for all your needs. And also special thanks to Cheesy Pizza for sponsoring the show, and also Kiki Sade, she glammed me up for today's show. My name is Paulina Deda Opoko, and it's always a pleasure to come your way. We'll be back with the next episode of Moans Cuddles.